Belle Mariano's high-octane adventure through the African Savanna, close calls with lions. Hold on tight as we journey deep into the wild heart of the African Savanna with the fearless Belle Mariano. A high-stakes adventure filled with close calls, adrenaline, and jaw-dropping moments you won't believe. Will she make it out unscathed? Stick around to find out. When you think of adventure, you might imagine serene beaches, picturesque mountains, or tranquil forests, but what if we told you that one of the most thrilling adventures of the century unfolded in the wild, untamed African savanna, where every step is a potential close call with danger? That's exactly what Belle Mariano, our beloved star, found herself doing, diving into the heart of Africa's wilderness, where lions stalk the land and the rhythms of nature echo through the air. This isn't just another celebrity vacation, it's an adventure that blends heart-stopping drama, edge-of-your-seat moments, and raw nature. Chapter 1. The Call of the Wild. It all started with a daring invitation from a world-renowned safari group, who promised Belle a front-row seat to one of the world's most awe-inspiring ecosystems. The African savanna, known for its vast landscapes and the myriad of animals that roam its grounds, was calling, and Belle was ready to answer. However, little did she know that this would soon become a life-altering adventure that would leave her breathless and with more than just memories. Arriving at the safari lodge, Belle was immediately immersed in the vibrant sounds of the wild. The air was thick with the smell of fresh grass, the distant calls of exotic birds, and the ever-present sense of excitement. The crew briefed her on the rules: never leave the vehicle without guidance, always keep a safe distance from wildlife, and under no circumstances should you attempt to approach a lion. But of course, the lion's share of danger came with the lions themselves. Chapter 2. The Lion's Roar. As they ventured deeper into the savanna, Belle was fascinated by the panoramic views, vast, golden plains stretching as far as the eye could see, with acacia trees dotting the horizon like a natural painting. But nothing could prepare her for the first sighting, a pride of lions resting under the shade of a large tree. Belle's excitement quickly turned into a cocktail of awe and nervousness. The king of the jungle had always been a symbol of power, but seeing them up close, a whole different story. I've seen lions on nature documentaries, but nothing compares to seeing them in real life, Belle shared. They're not just beautiful, they're intimidating. You can feel the power radiating from them. As the safari jeep slowly approached, the lioness turned her piercing gaze directly at Belle. It was a stare that sent shivers down her spine. She could almost hear the warning in her mind: "You're in my territory now." What followed was a game of tension. The lions were lounging lazily, but the air felt charged. One false move, and the situation could spiral into a life-threatening encounter. Belle's heart raced as the driver expertly kept their distance, but as they edged closer to the pride, Belle knew that a single slip could change everything. Just as they began to drive away, a lioness leapt from the shade and sprinted in their direction, the dust swirling in her wake. For a moment, it looked like a chase was about to begin. But the guides remained calm, guiding the jeep safely away. Belle's heart hammered in her chest. She had just dodged the most incredible and terrifying encounter of her life. Chapter 3. The Unexpected Twist. Belle didn't have long to recover from her first close call when fate threw another challenge her way. The next day, the group set out to track elephants, majestic creatures that roam the savanna in herds. But as they rounded a bend, their path was blocked by a solitary lion. It stood there, regal and commanding, as if daring them to move forward. The guides immediately whispered to each other, "It's not a safe time. Stay still." The jeep came to a halt. There was no room for error. Every instinct told Belle to remain perfectly still. But just as quickly as it had appeared, the lion started to move toward the vehicle, its powerful strides slow but sure. For a few heart-stopping seconds, time stood still. Belle could feel the weight of the moment. A lion's movements are calculated, deliberate, there's no rushing the king of the savanna. The driver expertly maneuvered the jeep, and they slowly backed away, leaving the lion to continue its majestic journey. Chapter 4. A Dance with Danger. It wasn't all close calls with lions, though. Belle experienced a spectrum of emotions as the safari took her through the heart of Africa's wildlife haven. There were moments of beauty, like when she spotted a cheetah darting across the grasslands, its speed an impossible blur, or when a baby giraffe playfully nibbled at a branch. But the real adventure lay in the unexpected, in those moments when nature's unpredictability threatened to leap from the horizon and change everything. On one fateful morning, as they entered the more remote parts of the savanna, the jeep came to a screeching halt. The sound of heavy footsteps, thump thump thump, echoed in the distance. A group of wildebeest was galloping across the plains, and in their midst was a lioness, tail flicking with impatience. The hunt was on. "Look, she's charging," one of the crew shouted. Belle couldn't believe her eyes as the lioness bolted after the wildebeest. The tension was palpable. Every turn, every twist, every sudden stop had her holding her breath, wondering if this moment would spiral into chaos. But, like any good predator, the lioness was calculating. She stopped, waiting for the right moment to strike, her eyes fixed on the wildebeest. This wasn't just an animal chase. It was a battle of survival. After a few agonizing moments, the lioness sprinted off in pursuit, disappearing into the distance as the wildebeest scattered. Belle was left in stunned silence, shaken by the raw power of nature she had just witnessed. Chapter 5. A Newfound Respect. By the end of her trip, Belle had undergone a transformation. The awe she had initially felt for the African wildlife had turned into a deep respect. The dangers of the savannah were not just moments of thrill, they were a reminder of